Allegri is not a coach that can bring your team into a winning mentality. You can just win in Serie A. If I had the coach Juventus with Allegri's lineup that he has available, with all the players available, I would probably done much better than Allegri. Let me tell you something.
Oh, everybody, keep fighting. We're rising, it's all worth it. Brothers and sisters, this is where we all belong. Different colors, same game, we all worship.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie audio experience with IFTV. Antonio's back with his rituals. He's got the Inter Cup because maybe he thinks that Milan's going to get into Champions League if he plays with the cup a little bit, if he drinks from the cup. Antonio, you already got the Champions League, so you don't got to worry about it. Milan's going to get the Champions League. Atalanta's not going to get it. So there's nothing to worry about. You don't got to switch seats with Peter this week. You stay in your spot, and you're going to be all good.
But how many glasses of limoncello Arubo he had this morning, this guy here?
Yeah, quite a few.
Oh, yeah?
Quite a few.
All right.
You don't think they're going to? No.
Listen. I know that all the cards are stuck against us and everybody's on the barrel for Inter and Atalanta to go into the Champions League, especially with those Juventini. You know, they
the two of you?
Not you. I mean, you are a pathetic Inter fan. You cannot do anything about it. But these guys here, they just give the Atalanta the title. Last game of Allegri, that loser over there. They just.
How about me, Anto? What am I?
You're not a traitor anyway.
Oh,
Who cares? So Roma is out, Mike. Roma is out.
Well, not mathematically.
Yeah, no, Roma is out. So
basically, mathematically. They have to score like 5 goals.
listen,
not
this is nothing but a show. You know, Atalanta and Inter, they in already. So. That's it.
Wow,
Atalanta.
all you Milan fans.
So you give up already?
I didn't give up.
No,
but I know that
wait a
the stuff has been fixed.
Wait a minute.
This is all fixed.
Yeah.
It's all fixed. Juventus should. What did I say last week?
What?
Juventus will either tie or lose against Atalanta intentionally.
Well,
you know why?
you don't have to be a mastermind to know that.
It's Allegri's project to give it back to AC Milan because he was kicked on his ass.
Atalanta played
From
good.
AC
You know,
Milan.
they
good.
played 3 times this
So,
year. The
it
other 2 times
doesn't matter.
Atalanta won,
It's your
and it was
last
a
game at
tie.
the stadium. You were
Yeah.
supposed to win. So what they did, they lay down quietly.
They
said,
played a
"Hey,
full lineup."
Pretend that you're running a little bit, but you know.
To be honest with you, I thought Atalanta played really well.
But
and
you
they
didn't
deserved
need
it.
a Juventus to help you out or not. It wasn't Milan. If you would have won a couple of more games, you didn't need a Juventus.
Don't change
to-
subject. Don't
What do you mean?
change subject. Last week we were talking about it. The chances of getting to Champions
But
League.
you needed to win the
If
games.
everybody plays fair, we won the game yesterday.
Yeah, but Juventus helped you. They got the
How
tie.
did they help
got
us?
the tie.
They
They
got
didn't
the
lose.
tie. They should have won the game.
If they would have
If they
lost, it
would've
would have been even
lost, it
worse.
would've been
Well,
Atalanta has more to play for. Juventus, they're over. Their season's done. They don't
listen,
need to play.
Juventus should have won that game. Then
Why?
AC Milan automatically will be on the
Juventus
Champions
hasn't
League.
won the past 3 games.
So you can't win your own game, so you need Juventus to win the games for you.
No, Juventus has to win when they're supposed to play exactly the same way they play when they play against AC Milan. Not that they just lay down and said, "Oh,
No, they didn't like that.
guys."
They
Well,
played- they played a full
you know,
lineup.
in the
That's
Coppa
garbage.
Italia, you know,
that
in
is
the Coppa,
really unprofessional.
Did you watch
For
the game?
Allegri and his stupid lapdog of Nedved and company. Okay. All right, that's all on the plate. It's all done. I know it. Those are, it's unfortunately, but those things have been made already.
I hope that the
Hold
Milan
on.
fans out there watching do not follow Antonio's footsteps, and you guys still have
That
hope.
guy's pretending that
and
he's
you
crying.
don't blame.
He knows that he's on the Champions League already. Don't cry.
necessarily.
This is like a tear. Just drop your tear. Put it on the coffee cup.
And I hope you guys don't blame anybody else.
And keep switching seats, make the rituals happen because there's still time for Milan.
But
still make
things
it.
are not going good for everybody else over there. So there's still hope. And there's still hope. And it's going to go down until the last match day. We don't know who's going to qualify. We already gave our predictions as to who we think. Maybe we'll revisit them later on.
Yeah, we definitely have to.
But before we get into it, I want to remind everybody, if you're watching this podcast, we have an interview that's up right now with an Italian journalist, Luca Monblano. It's an exclusive on the channel. So if you want to listen to that, if you're listening to an audio, it's on YouTube or Facebook. So make sure, go check that out. It's doing really good right now. Even in Italy, they're taking a lot of the quotes. He was a really funny guy. We had him on this morning, so it was very good. And he gave a lot of exclusive. He says who's gonna go where, which players are gonna go where, which guys. I know you were not too happy with one thing he said, right? What, 2 things that he said?
We'll see.
I haven't heard the interview yet. So
Get ready.
I've been busy.
Grab your popcorn.
Yeah.
It ain't a short one either.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that. But
Okay.
let's start with some of the games.
Yeah.
And let's start with the one that Antonio said is the only one that he watched this weekend. Which is the one that you said you
I was
watched?
watching Napoli-Inter because we were playing... actually, by the way, guys, the Brooklyn Italian are the cup champions for the Long Island Soccer League. So,
Is that what you guys sent us? The picture?
Yeah, that's, we won the cup yesterday and, big guy over here and did a great job on the first half. And all the team, we were playing against a bunch of animals. Because they were not on the field to play soccer. They were on the field just to eat people. I mean, it was just more of a MMS, a cage fighting. MMA, yeah, cage fighting than a soccer match. Wow. So
you showed up to the wrong event.
You still won, right?
we won 3-1.
There we
Nice,
go.
3-1.
But you lost a couple.
See,
of
no
legs.
excuses, and you won.
Well, we won 3-1.
Any injuries?
Any injuries? Bruising,
Antonio came crawling.
Wait,
here.
you were the coach.
I was the coach.
And a player.
Player
And,
coach.
That's why my voice is not sharp today. So I did a lot of yelling and screaming yesterday. But,
Are you putting in your resume to become the Milan ex-coach? Is that
No,
why?
I'll be a ball boy. I'd rather to be a ball boy for AC Milan.
I offer you the job of coach and you want to be the ball
I can
boy?
imagine
I can
Antonio.
do
I was
that.
like, who is that guy running on the
Yeah,
field?
but the thing is, if Ronaldo goes in to try to get the ball, you're not going to give him the ball. You're going to throw it the opposite way.
Let me handle that. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross.
You're going to be on
okay?
Gazzetta. It was like, Ball Boy spits on Ronaldo.
Napoli Inter 4-1. Peter.
Nothing much to say, but disgraceful. I mean, Spalletti, this game, you got it wrong. Inter, first 5 minutes, they were playing, and then disappeared. Napoli at home, historically, tough team to play against. It was their last game at home, so even though they pretty much have the second place sealed, they want to leave this, with a positive note. On a positive note. But Inter, with everything to play for, you have to be prepared to play this game and not lose 4-1. Interesting enough, the game was 1-0 at halftime, and Spalletti, for some strange reason, the whole season he declined doing it, didn't want to do it. This time around, he puts Lautaro Martinez and Icardi together, changed formation, and pretty much goes out on a whim. You didn't do it the whole season because you were, stubborn in what you thought was the right way to play. And now all of a sudden you change, and you change more into like a 3-5-2 in a sense. And Inter just little by little lost touch of this game and lost grasp of this game. And, Spalletti, even at the end of the conference, he's like, ci sta perdere contro Napoli. It's okay to lose versus Napoli at Napoli. That's the wrong mentality. And here again, we see him just being, it's okay. It's okay to lose if it's 1-0, 2-1. And even that is not okay. But to get killed 4-1 is disgraceful.
It's a key game too.
I didn't see the game, but I think that Lautaro, he hit 2 posts, right?
Yes.
So he was trying, and the game, maybe with a little bit of luck, if those 2 posts go in, maybe things will change. So I do not blame Spalletti for trying with Lautaro and Icardi for having those 2 up front, because he needed to win. So you have to go a little bit. You have to be a little bit more offensive so that you try. But what hurts and what it's a disgrace is that this is a final for you. Mm-hmm. This is a final. You're getting into the Champions Leagues. You need a win. You need to play all out, and you have to fight for every ball. And I don't think that Inter was that hungry to win this game, and that's a disappointing.
You know why? Because they know that they have it on the bag at the game, next week's game. That's it. That's all they need is 2 points or 1 point.
Well, again,
No, they do not need 2 points. They need to win.
Next week's game is against Empoli.
And Empoli are fighting for their lives.
is fighting to go to Serie B. So Empoli needs to win. Very, very important
But it's
for
going to be
Empoli
in
to
San
win.
Siro. It's going to be in San Siro.
Yeah, so
Well, it
what?
doesn't really matter. It's the last
And
game of the
Empoli,
season.
they won. They won their game against Torino, which was the one to keep
Their
it
last
alive.
3 games, Empoli won. So, and Empoli
They
don't
won
play
the last
now.
3 games in a row.
But
last 3 games.
if you win in Napoli, you're in. You're in the Champions League.
Yep.
you have to win, you have to play, and you have to. Nobody's going to go past the midfield. He should have put a. Nobody's going to pass by, and we're going to push until we score. And
that says a lot about the professionality of Ancelotti. It tells the team before he get into the field. They said, hey, listen, guys, I don't care if we are already second place, if we already, got into the Champions League and all the stuff. I want you to play hard. This is the people that they play the tickets over here to come and watch you guys. I expect you guys to win the game, and I want you guys to play hard. That's what Juventus should have done against Atalanta. But,
No, but hold on.
Allegri is not Ancelotti.
Antonio, it's a different story. Atalanta plays very, very good football. Inter at the moment have not demonstrated that they can play good football.
Atalanta could have won that game.
Atalanta was winning 1-0
In the 80th minute, Juventus
And they hit the
scored.
post.
So they-
Atalanta also hit the post.
Until
They
the
could have been
last
up
10 minutes.
2-0.
Yeah.
They played very well.
Everybody was in.
And then the goal that they scored was a little bit lucky the way
Atalanta?
the way you
Oh,
scored.
went through Golini's
Yeah,
leg.
so
That's
it's not that
crazy angle.
they were 10 minutes to the
there's
end of the
10 minutes
game.
left. Yeah.
They could have just laid down and let Atalanta just win if that's the case that you're saying.
All right.
It's like, okay, you guys convinced me.
Whatever.
So let's talk about Milan.
So wait, since on the subject, so Spalletti did a good job, right? I'm surprised you say something about Spalletti. That's not a little negative.
I've been saying it for the past couple of podcasts.
Okay.
I think it's time that I haven't.
No, you haven't. Just laughing at his
okay.
face.
Yeah,
His
but
reaction.
so
I think-
who you getting? Who you getting?
I
The
see
rumor-
Mike's face. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the rumors is Conte now, right? Conte is coming to
No,
Italy.
but besides the point, who's
Jump
gonna
in the gun.
the hot seat and who's gonna be on then as the next coach? It's just a matter of fact that Inter's team should not be fighting for the last day, to win Champions League.
But Pete, can it be that he felt already humiliated that he's already got somebody, sitting on his chair before even the season ends? Because I think names have been made already. They know already who's coming to Inter. You don't make things like
you
that.
still
So
have
the
a
guy,
job. You
the
still
guy
have a
said,
job to
who
do."
cares? You already pick up my
not it.
substitute.
Listen,
so hey,
That's
do
not
whatever
it.
you want.
That's not it.
Listen, if you go back a few months ago, how many points did Inter have from the fifth team?
But
Okay,
that's the problem.
how many points did they have?
A lot of them.
They had
10 points at least.
At least 10 points,
Yeah, at
right?
least.
From the fifth one. I mean, how can you go to the last game of the season and now you're playing to fight for fourth place? So, whatever you're saying, Anto, I don't agree with you. Because Inter could have easily been in long time. And the same thing with Milan. Milan,
Yeah, the hot streak.
they had the hot streak, but there are certain games that you need to win. What happened to Piontek? Piontek, he came in, he was doing great, and then what happened? Then he stopped.
And what happened? The same thing that happened to Ronaldo. What happened? He came in,
stopped.
he started to score,
Forget
and then he
about
stopped.
Ronaldo. Ronaldo won the Campionato and won the Super Cup and won the Coppa Italia. He won 3 cups.
Coppa Italia. What kind of TV you watching?
No, sorry.
He was waiting for you to mess up. He was like, say one more, say one more.
Youths.
Ronaldo won 2 cups. And he scored 22 goals. I think 21, 22
Piontek
goals.
has like a goal more than
21,
him.
I think.
Okay, so Piontek, there was that stretch where he needed to score, and he didn't score. He disappeared.
And it happens, and he scored.
And I was going for Piontek. I said that he was going to be the capocannoniere. He was going to be the leading scorer.
Antonio's
He was
speechless right now.
disappointed.
He is so mad at you.
Everything was going
So-
well for Milan, and when everything
when
was
he-
going well, the things were clicking, and he was
when he
scoring a lot
came
of
in,
goals.
the first couple of games he was playing well. He was scoring. I think he came in with 17 goals from Genoa, and now he's at 21, 16, 17.
Little
Yeah.
less.
The only time
little
it
less.
went down was after the derby, after Peter went to Italy. I think that's the only explanation.
I better go back.
If you got to find something to blame.
Pete, you might
Let me go back
want
to
to just
San Siro.
book the plane right now.
Go.
So after that happened, but Piontek scored. He scored now.
Yeah.
He scored.
No, but I think Gaetano said it best. It's just Inter, Milan, they're all in it still, but not so much because of the success as the third or fourth best team in Italy. Just the fact that they're very mediocre. They haven't been able to push it to the next level and win games that should be very winnable, and be able to step up to the plate when it's a pressure situation and win a game that you need.
Yeah.
And Inter, as Gaetano said, you have so many points ahead of the 5th place team. You have to be able to manage it the right way and get these wins. And there was a period of time where Inter, Milan, losing, dropping points. And it's unacceptable for
That's
someone,
how
a team
Atalanta
that wants
got-
to be in Champions League.
Atalanta slowly
Yeah.
was just
Little by
grabbing
little.
these
Grabbing the points
points
that they
here and
needed.
there. Roma was not taking advantage of it. Torino was for a little while, where we thought that maybe they could make the push. But listen, they don't have as much quality, and it is what it is. It gets to the final match day, and I know Roma still technically is.
Roma, I saw the game. They deserve to win.
Oh
big
my
time.
God! They should have scored 3 goals.
Minimum.
They should have scored 3 goals against Sassuolo.
Everything that we wrong, we went wrong for
Man,
Roma.
Clivert,
Besides-
he was looking.
Manolas also wasn't playing, so that's a huge
Manolas.
factor.
but
Besides,
Manolas is
and
gonna
De Rossi,
score.
the biggest
he scored.
disappointment. Not
He
even
wasn't
playing
there
De
either.
Rossi.
Yeah, De Rossi. It was his final away
Anyway,
game.
Roma is out of the Champions League.
Not mathematically, but
Yeah, they're out.
wow.
Mike, they are.
Jeez.
They need. I think they need everybody
You
to
guys are killing
lose,
me.
and they need to have a
They're
5 goal
out of
difference.
the
I
Champions
believe.
League.
You know, there is
Something
a song,
like
all I need is a miracle. Not even that is going to save Roma.
Let's sing it all together, hold their hands, and maybe they can clinch.
No,
it.
they needed to win against Sassuolo, and I think that they knew. You could see there was so much tension at Roma right now between what's going on off the field and on the field. I was in the city with the Roma Club of New York, and you could feel
when they scored the fake goal, you were jumping around.
I have a video. I caught it on camera. Everybody going crazy. And
It was offsides,
And it was-
right?
and then
Everyone
it
thought
was
we all thought it
offside.
was in.
it was significantly offside.
Yeah.
But you could feel, besides that, because there was almost an acceptance at a point, even when they tied, like, what else is new? Like, what now? We're so mad with everything that's happening, with what's happening at the top of the club, and then what's happening with De Rossi, that it's all going into this bubble. And we got a lot of guys leaving Serie A this year. We got a lot of guys. We got Pellissier, who played his final home game.
Abate.
We had Abate, who played, his final home game. We had Barzagli, who played his final home game. And we had De Rossi, who played his final away game. He didn't play the game. He was on the bench. But it's crazy to see all these guys going. And I don't think we commented on the De Rossi situation, right? I don't think any of us did.
No, we haven't.
But to preface it, just for people that don't know, De Rossi, they had a press conference where they said that he would not be renewing, he would not stay on to the next season. And it seemed like, maybe there was a little bit of tension. And then De Rossi said, are you going to become a director? And he said, yeah, if I become a director, the first thing I would have done is I would have signed myself to another contract as a player. So it was one of those moments that burns as a fan of De Rossi to see that he was the one really pushing. And in a way that we've starting to see in football right now, the goodbyes are getting worse and worse because the company decisions.
I was driving to the game with Ludovico in the morning to play the cup final, and Ludovico made a good point, which I think it's a very good point. He said, according to him, Roma is going to be sold, or is sold already. So that way, this is the reasons why they really do not. They don't care whether De Rossi stays or doesn't stay. That's why they didn't extend the contract to De Rossi.
But wouldn't it be the opposite though? Because if they don't care,
This
then
is
why
the
do they?
deal. I think that the stadium is still a big question mark over there, and I don't think they approved 100% that they didn't give it the green light for the stadium to be built. So, and I think that's the American property does not want to commit to the team, and that's why they let they just relaxing completely, and they want to think they're out. They're going to be out.
What was ironic is that Barzagli, it was his last game and he was crying. Abate was his last game and he was crying.
Pellissier was crying as us.
Pellissier was crying. Allegri was very emotional, almost crying.
Oh yeah, Allegri too.
But De Rossi, he didn't get a chance to cry, in front of his. That was,
But he's gonna play
That
Sunday.
could be
That
the last
Gaetano.
game. I hope
But
not.
it's going to be Sunday.
But a champion like De Rossi,
It was the last meaningful real game.
it would have been nice.
for him to.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna come on, and I think everybody at the club, the only thing that they cared about, to tell you the truth, was De Rossi.
De Rossi, yeah.
The chanting, everything
Well, he's
was.
a gladiator,
he's
one of the gladiators.
He's a guy who
One of the last
always
ones, too.
always rejected big money moves.
Yeah.
Started his career in 2001, made a Champions League debut even before he made a Serie A debut. A guy that he was with the national team. He won in 2006 in the World Cup. And like I said, he has this famous quote where he says, if I never became a Roma player, I would be one of those guys who travels on a bus for 6 hours just to sing my heart out for Roma. So Whether he's as a player, he would be a fan, one of those ultras that just sings his hearts out for the club. And I think the fans have always, I mean, it's obvious to say that the fans have appreciated
he's
it.
like Totti in a sense. He's a one-man club, one club man. And the fact that what's even more upsetting is he was even willing to take a lower salary. So something went wrong. Something happened. I don't understand why Roman management would not give someone $800,000, $1 million contract for another year if he wants to play.
Especially
No,
your
he
captain.
and he definitely wants to
Especially
play.
your captain.
The thing that always surprises me
If he
is
accepted his role,
exactly, like that's number one, and number two, the way that you go about it, where it was seeming like, and I believe De Rossi said this, or Ranieri said that it seemed like he was going to stay on for the next season, and then all of a sudden, out the blue, he got the call like, okay, yeah, actually, it's not going to happen. And it always surprises me with the way that they announce certain things.
But this is what pisses me off. Just to be honest with you, Marco. Why don't you wait until the end of the campionato and then you're starting to say yes and no? Why do you have to know everything
Just in case, so that you could celebrate before they go.
Oh, yeah, that's not a celebration. Believe me. When you wanted to celebrate, you say the positive stuff before. But just because the news was not positive, was negative, you should have hold until the end of the season and then say, okay, sorry.
To be honest, I think
we're
more
not gonna extend your-
more so
your,
the manner in which it happens. Like I think a guy like Barzagli, okay, he's way past his prime. I don't think he wants to get into coaching. Makes sense, the sending off mutually. But also like we saw with Totti, where there was tension, where we saw with Del Piero, with Buffon, where they all wanted to keep going, but you had this side of the company where they say, listen, we're a company now. We're not just a football club. We're not going to give contracts to guys that we don't want to keep on, who we don't think that, can commit to it. So I think there's that debate. And when I was speaking to the Roma fans, to them, it's more important for De Rossi, who's their gladiator, to be on the team than anything else.
But the same thing happened to Maldini. What he was saying, they play for the same club all their life. And then you get to the end, and also Maldini didn't leave in good terms with Galliani.
But
Why does it have to get to that point?
That's a shame.
There's a lot of situations.
Why does it have to get to that point?
Maldini didn't have a contract issue. One thing I wanted to ask you, since you know the Roma club a little more than everybody else here, don't you think that Totti could have just intercede a little bit or pull his weight on this decision on the club and say, hey, by the way,
Sure, he probably did. He could relate to it.
Why Totti didn't just made his his weight be felt on the decision making of Roma?
Maybe he did, but if he doesn't have a real role where he could decide that, if the upper management says, oh, listen, Totti, I don't care what you say. It's not your decision. It's our decision.
So it was Pallotta saying, I don't care who you are, what you did.
I don't know who it was, but somebody that's higher than Totti, I'm sure Totti. He can relate exactly. He was in the same situation as De Rossi was. I think De Rossi's been a little bit more vocal about the situation than him. But
Marco, what do you make, Gaetano, the coincidence that while this was going on, Totti was in Kuwait just playing a little indoor soccer with a bunch of other players?
doesn't have anything.
Huh? Got nothing to do with that? Maybe he was asked not to be around, or maybe he chose to go over there because he probably knew that the bad news was.
Yeah, but Antonio, either he gets asked now or he gets asked next week. He's still going to get asked that question.
I'm not sure what the role of Totti is. I don't know if he's going to become the vice president, if he's going to become the director, is the director, or if he's going to stay where he is right now. I'm not sure what his role is going to be for the future. And like you said, maybe the team has been sold. Maybe they're selling the team.
I smell that. I smell that.
Because the way Pallotta is been dealing with Roma is very, very, very strange. I mean, he sold all his best players in the last few years. That's all he has been done, is selling. And maybe he's going to sell the team. Because he's not getting... he had a hard time getting the stadium from the city. They gave him a really hard time. Maybe now he's fed up. I don't know. But every time you see Pallotta, the guy is always upset. He's always upset at something. He's either upset at the journalist, he's upset at the city, he's upset about the stadium, he's upset at something.
He's always criticized.
Yes.
But Gaetano,
Yeah.
why was
Yeah,
it
but
the
every
Rossi-
person-
I feel like he's always doing the best for Roma. He's trying to get a new stadium. He's trying to get the best media. And everyone keeps calling him, oh, this American's trying to ruin this, that. And he's trying to do his best. And everyone's like, why are you guys trying to hate me when I'm trying to pull Roma, the best teams of Italy?
I understand,
So I
but
get
if
his
you
point
went
too.
there, you have to have what is the objective of the team. Okay, so if you come and say I'm going to build one of the best teams in Italy and in Europe, and then you sell all the best players, if you're somebody like, okay, I want a young team. Okay, I want a young team. This is what my objective. I want all Italians. I want a young team. I want to build up. Okay, then that's what you do. So before the season, if you want to fight for the Champions League, they didn't show that they wanted a team to fight for the Champions League.
He brought up a
to
good
win.
interview with Salah. Everyone was saying, why did I sell Salah? Why did I sell this? But Salah actually came to my office and talked to me and said, I want to go.
Yeah, but it's not about that because you got 45 million for Salah and you spent it on Sheik, who's your highest transfer, and how did that pay off? So it's not just I agree with you because, and this is what I was saying to the fans, is that you have to your ambitions need to match your actions. So Roma's a club in Champions League that were in the semifinals of the Champions League, right? The year after, they sell all of their guys. They get all this money. Alisson, 70, 80 million. Salah was the year before. Nainggolan, Strootman. All these guys that they sold. Rudiger. Pjanic. All of these guys that they've sold. And okay, like you said, if it's a clear, guys, we're going to have a young team. This is a 5-year project. It's going to take some time. But you want results based off of keeping these guys. And then when the results don't match your ambitions, you sack Di Francesco. You sack Monchi, who maybe Monchi deserves sacking. I don't know. But to me, Di Francesco was a little bit of that scapegoat where you just took away, you stripped all of his players. Do you really think that he can get fourth place for Roma in Champions League with this team?
And I tell you one thing, when Roma was struggling and they were losing games, De Rossi came into the game and they played much better with De Rossi into the game.
And that's what you can't
He's
measure.
a leader.
That's what you
There
can't
was a
measure.
game,
captain.
I don't remember now against who, but they lost they got 4 or 5 goals.
Fiorentina?
And De Rossi was not there. The next game he came in, he would never get 4 or 5 goals with De
Fiorentina.
Rossi
that was six.
in the game.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Oh, was it 6?
It was Fiorentina. It was a Coppa Italia. 7-1 they lost.
Okay.
And the next game, yeah, I remember that.
It was humiliating.
That's the thing that you can't measure, though.
Yeah. And De Rossi came in, so De Rossi did make a difference. He makes a difference in the locker room, and he makes a difference when he's inside the field. So something like that.
His only issue is that he's injury prone and he can't last more than 60 minutes
But
at
Peter,
a high level.
Okay,
but those 60 minutes are.
But what he said is,
good.
you want to give me $100,000 a game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I play 5 games, I get 500,000. I play 10 games, you give me $1 million. I don't play any games, you don't have to pay me.
Yeah.
So he was okay with that. So if somebody tells you that,
Yeah, I
Gaetano,
agree.
but even you, Peter, why do you think Totti was kept? You think that Totti was kept out of this loop, or he was told, "Listen, don't comment on this because we do not need you to throw gasoline into the fire." Because I'm sure Totti will have taken the side of De Rossi, and the fact that he's been mum about this whole thing, he has been saying anything, that's really surprising to me.
Yeah, but Totti, if he works for Roma, cannot disagree with what Roma says. He has to be in line with the club.
But
Whether
this is
he
what
agrees
so
with
you,
it or
you are
not.
agreeing technically
Whether
with
he
me. He
agrees
was
with
told.
it or
He was
not.
told. Even though, hey, we know that
we
your
don't know
best
what
friend
he-
with
what he
Totti,
thinks, but-
with De Rossi, just they told him properly, keep your mouth quiet. Whatever you gotta say, just say it. Don't go on record saying things that they might not be lining up with the project of the Roma.
I think it's a really risky move to Roma in a time where we don't know what's going to happen to Roma. We don't know who their coach is going to be. And there's a lot of key players, I would say, like Manolas, who's the leader in defense, like Dzeko, who's the leader in attack, like De Rossi, who's the leader in the midfield, who are all gone, or most likely gone, when the summertime hits, let alone who else will be leaving the club and who's going to come in. So I think it's a risky time where you could have at least kept De Rossi to manage some of the younger guys coming in and manage the new players coming in. But it is what it is. I think that more and more we just keep seeing this over and over again of players kicked out of their clubs, and it's sad to see. But
Do
nonetheless,
they have any financial fair play problems the way AC Milan has it, or somebody else?
Not that I heard of.
no, I'm not sure.
They had so much money coming in. They're not
But De Rossi still wants to play apparently, so he's got MLS options. He's got a couple
Japan.
options. Oh yeah, all over the world.
China.
I think Japan. I think it is because Iniesta's over there in Japan.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And De Vivia and Podolski. And the
Maybe it's
same
gonna
team.
maybe it's gonna be maybe it's
Damn, I
gonna
want
be
to
this,
go there. They have a good, pretty solid team.
maybe it's gonna be the team in
You would
Japan.
go over there too,
I don't
man.
know.
Why not?
I'll
With
definitely-
those legends?
Manolas is
Manolas.
him and Manolas.
He's
What do
too
you think
young.
of Manolas is
He's
still in
too young.
Roma? Because he's not as good player as everybody's,
That's true.
He's all right.
That's
He's
true. Let's
just the
let
middle of the range. I will send him back to Greece.
Allegri was a huge talking point. What we didn't expect happened. Last week we came on. Remember we were talking, the guy Monblano who we interviewed, who said 0%. A lot of Sky Italia, Gazzetta, Corriere, they all said 70%. They all were saying Allegri was going to stay. It came out all of a sudden, Allegri out. Mutually departs from Juventus. 5 seasons, 11 trophies. One of the the third most capped Juventus coach in history. And I think if you told anyone that in June of 2014 that Allegri would do all that, you would have called him crazy. He was very emotional. I've never seen this side of Allegri and Agnelli. They look like they had they were best friends. They were crying. They were tears. Agnelli said that it was, one second. Agnelli said that this was his hardest decision since taking over Juventus, was letting go of Allegri. The rumors are that Nedved and Paratici were really pushing for the move, and that all things alike, they had disagreements in where they saw the vision, and they decided to move on. But nonetheless, Allegri proved many wrong. He came in with this, and nobody wanted him, and he goes out with a lot more trophies than he came in with.
Question number 1 for you.
Question
Was
number one.
Allegri kicked out or Allegri left on his own?
Kicked out?
Kicked out.
Yeah.
Thank you. Question number 2. How many trophies did he win for Juventus?
11.
11. How many Champions League did he win for Juventus?
0.
So his campaign was a failure.
No. Absolutely not.
Juventus is a team that you have to play for the champions, to win the Champions League, not to play for the Champions League.
As do
He got all the players that you guys, you bought him everything, including Cristiano Ronaldo now, and all of Pjanic, and, and Szczesny, and the goalkeeper, and
Pinzolio.
Everybody, just about everyone that you wanted to make the checkerboard
gonna
filled
happen.
up.
Yeah.
Right?
With
You
the
got
government
everyone, right?
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just take
Come on.
the accomplishment of Juventus. That's been nothing but a failure.
Marco's
Okay.
cooking something up right now.
To me, Allegri's been nothing but a failure. This
Okay.
is the reasons why he's been asked to go.
Okay, it's very good. You said to
And,
you.
all your guessing on 70% yes, 30% no.
Not my guessing.
I knew even before the end.
The new Monblano right here.
I knew it even before the Campionato started that this was a make or break. Even if he won the Champions League, he would be gone.
You also said Ronaldo was gonna have 0 goals.
But you
so-
made it very clear to you.
So
That's
for
good.
Allegri, other than the 11
reaction out of you.
cups that he won, he was on the bench for 269 games. He had 191 victory, 42 tie,
all meaningless.
and 36
Most of them
lost.
against Milan.
So he had a 75.5 percentage winning. I mean,
One of the
that's
top, right? I think
that's
he's the top.
one of
I'm not
the.
sure if it's the top or one of the top.
It's
Oh
one
yeah,
of-
I think you're
that's
right.
one of the highest. So if you compare Allegri, okay, you might compare him with all the coaches in Italy in the last 5 years is the most successful. If you compare him with the coaches of all Europe, he's probably in the top two or top three. So when we put in the last 5 years, and we put Guardiola, and we put Ancelotti, and we put Klopp, Zidane, you want to put, he's probably on that one of the top 2 or 3 coaches in all of Europe. So I don't know how can you, Agnelli, fire somebody like that. I mean, if it was always criticized that his game was not a beautiful game, But in Italy, like we said before, for the fans, what matters is the result.
Not all the time.
That's what they care about. You could play a beautiful game, like Sarri plays a beautiful game, but if you don't win, you're not going to go too far in
Not
Italy.
at Juventus.
Not in Italy.
No.
You know, the results is the most important thing. Okay, and this is aspect. So, to me, I think Allegri. And I'm going to probably be criticized from a lot of the Juventus fans. I would have signed this guy. I would have given this guy another 5 years.
You're gonna get a lot of.
And I would have say, okay, you're going to
Until
be.
Guardiola
We're gonna
comes.
put Gaetano's WhatsApp down below.
You're going to be here another 5 years.
Don't worry, we'll get you.
Okay.
We'll get you
So-
Griezmann. We'll get you everything. you
So
want.
Sir Ferguson,
Yeah.
who to me is the best coach ever, and I respect the guy. For 8 years, he didn't win one cup. 8 years, he didn't win one cup. Sir Ferguson. He stayed at Manchester United for 25 years, 27 years. Okay, I would have said to Allegri, you here for another 5 years. This guy would have won 3 Champions League.
Yeah, on your dreams.
One second.
For the next, if he would have signed for 5 years, he would have won 3 Champions
think
League.
so?
One thing. I just want. I'm not criticizing. I just want to play devil's advocate. What would you say if someone said, but Ferguson was in a tougher league, or that this league was easier for Allegri because he had very good players in a weaker Serie A?
Yes.
What would you say to that?
Okay, but we talking.
I'm not saying. I didn't say I,
I was
agree with.
getting to that point.
One,
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, but we're
I just
talking
wanna hear it.
about he didn't win it. He didn't win the Champions League. He didn't win the European League. He didn't win any cups. So even though maybe the Premier League was tough, he was playing in Champions League. He was playing Europa League. He didn't win that either.
So then you could say Allegri didn't win those either.
Okay, but but he didn't give him a chance to stay with the team, and maybe he's going to
5
win.
years is not enough of a
maybe-
chance.
maybe
I
give
think-
him a chance.
Listen,
Next year he could have won the Champions
No way.
League.
I completely understand.
With
your-
1 or 2 players, maybe next year would have won the Champions League.
I
mean, he went to the final against
2 times.
Barcelona.
2 times.
I mean, he played pretty good. He had a pretty good. So
With a very weak squad. With a very weak
Ah,
squad.
that's another one. Give me a break.
Compared,
Well,
yes,
compared to
You
compared to
guys
Barcelona
have
and
to
Real
take
Madrid.
the loss like a man.
No, but
No, the thing is,
but wait.
Barcelona and Real Madrid. It's not that it's a very weak squad. It's just Barcelona and Real Madrid are that much better.
Okay,
than
in
everyone else.
in 2015, that Juventus did not belong inside the Champions League final based off quality of the teams that were in
On
it
paper.
compared to theirs.
Why? What was your midfield? 2015.
It was
Well,
a good
the
midfield. It was Pirlo,
The rest
Pirlo,
were.
Mark-
Marquinhos.
Pogba,
Yeah,
Vidal,
all guys
Marquinhos.
who were said Vidal, nobody knew him. Pirlo was washed up, and Pogba was a kid from Manchester that they didn't want.
Based on the course of the season, but they were.
Yeah, I
good
know
pla-
they put
great
it together and they
players.
did good. But up top, there was who was it? Llorente and Tevez who were up top.
Tevez.
Compared to Neymar, Messi, and Suarez.
Listen to me.
And compared to no, we're gonna finish this conversation first because you're gonna go off topic. I want to continue this.
Yeah.
I understand your point because and I think
I know what I'm.
I wanted Allegri to leave based off of not what you said, but based off of the relationship that he's had around the club. So where they're saying Dybala, what's happening with Dybala, Cancelo, Pjanic, all these guys that he's asked to leave and who clearly don't see happy, and you could even see so many times this Juventus look frustrated and demoralized and no hunger to attack in the game. And the only time Juventus do have that, and in the interview he made this sound better, where he said that you didn't know which Juventus was going to come out in Europe. If Juventus were down, then you saw the real Juventus. But they would never take the game to them. So that was the reason why I think Juventus needed to get rid of Allegri, not because of a failure, but because it was time for Juventus to move on and find new motivation with another coach. That's my opinion. I completely see you, and I understand for many coaches, and I agree that if you look in England with Klopp, who for 5 years has not won anything with Liverpool, still has his job, and rightfully so, I understand that patience
how
is
much
important.
money did he spend?
I don't know how much, but
Okay, well, Man City spent about 600 million.
and they haven't won the Champions League.
Yeah, that's true.
And they
too.
have Pep
They
Guardiola.
haven't- Right, and they got Pep Guardiola. They haven't won the Champions League. Okay, they won 2 Premier. And what is Klopp have won with Liverpool? And he spent probably another 300-400 million. I'm not sure, but I'm sure he spent another 300. Manchester United spent it like 300-400 million.
Well, they
right?
sacked a few of their coaches, too.
Even more.
Even more.
Even more.
Okay.
But
A
no,
lot
no.
of-
Exactly.
Let me just give you a little math quiz to both of you, okay?
Do you know math?
You guys are fooling around with numbers, and you're talking about the English Premier League. You know what the English Premier League is? It's not the Serie A. Okay, the English Premier League.
we're talking about Champions League.
You have nothing but top of the line teams over there playing and fighting every week.
We're talking about Champions League.
Even the champion. Let me get to the Champions League right now to you. Allegri is not a coach that can bring your team into a winning mentality. You can just win in Serie A. If I had the coach Juventus with Allegri's lineup that he has available, with all the players available, I would probably done much better than Allegri. Let me tell you something. This guy here, the guy here, it wasn't even a question whether you win in the Campionato. You have 20 freaking players that can play at any time in any position, and the quality and the money that you spend, that's not even a question to be asked. Why did you fail 5 years in a row? They gave you Cristiano Ronaldo. They gave you this. They gave you that. Just about everything you asked, you've been given to it. Conte, that when he was asking for a player, never got a player. All of a sudden, this guy Allegri comes in. Oh, Allegri. They give him money, players. What did he win? He didn't win shit. Sorry for my English. He didn't win crap.
Okay, but real quick, you cannot
And he
consider
made all of
something.
this bad relationship with the players.
Okay, but if you want to base it off of numbers, which is your argument, the argument is not valid, because if you're saying who spends the most, that would mean they always win the most. But if you calculate how much Manchester United, and I believe this is over 10 years, spent almost $1 billion. And what has Manchester United done in 10 years? They have not. When did they win the Champions
Just a
League?
Europa League.
2008, 2009, maybe on 10 years. So you can't just say that whoever spends the most money. In 3 years, Guardiola spent $600 million. They're going to spend another $200 million this year, and he hasn't won a Champions League. So money does not equate that you win a Champions League. A Champions League, not winning a Champions League can't be considered a failure when you have top teams. A Serie A, I could see your argument,
Anyway,
but not a Champions League.
your argument is not valid.
Your argument is not valid. I'll tell you the reasons why. I'll tell you the reasons why. No, you bring in Manchester United inside. You bring in Liverpool. You bring in all of those things.
Your
You try to
argument
compare
is
the
not valid.
Juventus.
I'll tell you
The
one
failure
thing.
of- listen to me, please. The failure of Juventus for not winning the Champions League, you cannot compare Juventus with Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, and all of those big teams in Europe. They're much superior. Barcelona.
Much
Real
superior,
Madrid.
but what did
what
they
do you-
win?
But they didn't win.
But what
Forget
did they
about
win?
what did they win? They played in
but they didn't
Your
win.
whole
You're
argument is on
if
who
you wanted
won.
to spend the energy that Manchester United or Manchester City spends into the field every week playing hard just not to lose or to win the game, Juventus he had to walk into the field
Yeah,
with
but-
all of those players. Juventus got none
Antonio,
for not
Antonio.
winning the
You're
Champions League.
arguing-
Juventus smacked Manchester
Juventus
City.
failed.
If I can
End
say,
of the story.
Okay.
You
If
guys are a bunch of losers.
If I can say,
Hold on a
he's
second,
arguing
because-
against himself.
Yeah.
Because he just said that the other teams all are better and all spend more money. So how is it a failure for you? I think if you're gonna argue Allegri, right? It's not so much over the 5 years. I think over the 5 years he was very successful, able to bring the team to 2 finals, able to make sure that you win 11 trophies.
Over the 2 or 3 years.
Is not an accomplishment that a lot of coaches can say they have done. This year is the year that is in question for Allegri. He had a team with Cristiano Ronaldo that should have been able to go farther than where they have gone in the Champions League. I do not say that they should have won 100% the Champions League, because in a two-legged series, you could always lose a game. And we saw that with Ajax. But with the way that things were working out and with the way that the Champions League unfolded, Juventus beating and winning versus Ajax had a chance to have their say in the Champions League final and win the Champions League.
They didn't.
Hold on.
They did
didn't.
not.
They didn't.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
But going based off the interview that you guys did with Moblano, his name is, I think he said a very interesting point. And it was not so much that the fans are against the way that Allegri plays, or the Juventus team plays under Allegri, because they have no style or whatnot. It was more of not being able to recognize an identity with the Juventus team. There was no identity in how they played. So with Allegri, you were not sure what Juventus team was going to show up. And that is the major influence that led Agnelli and his advisors to choose, or even better, that they already have someone lined up. They have a short list of coaches lined up, and they feel that being able to change the coach, they're able to get some fresh air, and the team and the players, certain players that had problems with Allegri, have a chance now to start from scratch and start a new project because
I'll
also
tell
a lot
you
of
why
players.
you're all wrong. I'm going to tell you why you're all wrong. First of all, what did Allegri? First of all, the guy here comes into Juventus, right? What did he found in Juventus? He found the team that Conte just laid out for him.
Yes.
Conte left him a spectacular team, a winning team for the last 3-4 seasons, right? Conte did not leave Juventus as a losers team. Juventus was the winner team of the Serie A, right?
Yeah.
He won. He had all those records broken and all the stuff. He gives the team to Allegri and said, hey, on a golden platter, here's your team. Just make those lapdogs up there, spend $200 million and see if you can win the Champions League. They didn't want to spend the money for me. I'm talking about Conte. I'm Conte right now, okay? So they give Allegri all of this team on a golden platter. What did he do, this guy? He did nothing.
Okay.
He made
He did nothing. Wait. Now it's my time to talk. What did Conte ever piss anybody off? No. You never heard anybody under Conte that
I'm
they
the biggest
wanted,
Conte
they wanted
fan,
to
and
run
that's
away
not
from
true.
Juventus and all the stuff.
Luca
not true.
Toni,
Okay.
Krasic.
What are you
That's not
talking
true.
about?
Iaquinta.
What are you talking about?
They
What
all
kind of
left.
TV you were watching?
They all left.
Douglas Costa.
No way.
Diego Costa.
No way.
Diego
Oh,
No way.
Diego Costa.
Not
He
in
had argument
Juventus.
with
I'm
Chelsea.
talking, don't change subject. I'm talking about Juventus right
No,
now.
but we just
We're
gave you
talking
4
about Conte.
examples at Juventus because it's not true. Antonio, it's a good argument. It would be good if it was true, but it's not true.
What are you talking about? That
Well,
Conte didn't win. He didn't give him a winning team
Listen,
to Allegri.
I'm the biggest Conte fan, but what you're saying is not true. Conte pissed off a lot of guys. But listen, you're arguing that Manchester City, all these guys, Juventus beat Manchester City, Juventus beat Manchester United, Juventus knocked out Tottenham. They've beaten all these teams before. So you're saying that they're not a failure, and your argument is based off money to Champions League trophies. These teams spent more money and they didn't win a Champions League. That's because that's because just because what you spent does not mean you win a Champions League.
And
You
there's
can't
one
fail to
team
win.
that we're forgetting about, which is PSG.
Oh,
Okay,
PSG,
which
forget
they
it.
won the game, which they won the season 2 months ago. So they didn't spend a lot of energy going back to what you say, Premier League. They spend a lot of energy and things. PSG won the season 2 months ago. They have Neymar, they have Cavani, they have Verratti, they have Buffon,
Mbappe.
they have Mbappe. Those are 3
Thiago
of the
Silva.
best forwards in the world. What did they win?
I'm not here praising PSG. I never
What
said
did-
anything good
no,
about
no,
PSG.
about your
what did they
argument, it's the
win?
argument.
I'm just going back
Saying
to your
argument
argument.
wise.
What did they win? They spent a lot more than
They had Ancelotti. They had Ancelotti.
They spent a lot more money than
They had
Juventus.
Leonardo.
So your argument is not valid.
Guardiola.
And then I'm going to tell you one more thing. Barcelona, okay, with Messi, with the best player in the world, okay. It's not easy to win a Real Madrid won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Where was Barcelona?
Look who
With
was the coach. Look who was the coach of Real Madrid.
With the best team, with the best player in the world. It's not easy to win the Champions League. Sometimes you might have to wait a few years.
Peter, who do you think's the best replacement for Allegri?
I mean, it's so hard. It's hard to really just jump from
No, I mean, as
to
a-
there. I mean, I would say Guardiola is the guy that you want.
I would put it
Why?
after Guardiola.
Why?
Maybe.
Because he's gonna be able to change your team.
I don't
you
think-
see it.
yeah.
It's not necessarily that he's gonna guarantee you a Champions League. He's just gonna bring a whole new style and identity, and you're gonna tell what Guardiola's team. But
Besides
you're gonna have to
Spalletti.
spend.
Who's
Besides
Spalletti,
Guardiola.
Juventus?
Okay.
Besides Guardiola.
Besides Guardiola.
We got to put Guardiola on the side for now.
Okay,
Because I think it's obvious.
I'll tell you who they
Yeah.
are. Maybe while you're thinking,
I'm
about,
thinking
it.
about
Okay,
it.
there's 4 coaches for Juventus. Number 1,
Spalletti.
Ancelotti. Number 2, Zidane. Number 3, Guardiola. Number 4, Conte. Those are the coaches for Juventus. If you want to go on the next step,
And if they can't get any of those 4?
if they can get
should've
it,
sacked
then
Allegri.
then you get Agnelli and you say Agnelli, you screwed up big time, because those are the ones that they're gonna. If you
Improve
sacked
the level.
Allegri.
You
You
better
know,
have
they're
it
talking
ready.
about Simone Inzaghi.
What about Sarri?
And they're talking about
Sarri.
Sarri. Give me a break. They haven't won any.
Mihalovic.
They
Don't
haven't
like
won
Mihalovic?
it. Mihalovic. Maybe if you wanted to coach Empoli or something, okay.
Yeah, that's
You know,
disrespectful
or
right
to-
there.
or
What about
to- or to
Spalletti?
That's
win,
disrespectful.
What about
Bologna.
Spalletti?
Yeah, but Mihalovic is for Bologna, for Empoli,
I
for
was just joking with
Sampdoria,
you.
just
No,
for those
no.
teams that are fighting to not to go to say. That's what he's good for.
If he's watching this podcast, I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
sorry.
I'm not sorry.
But yeah, yes, what is? Are you serious, Simone Inzaghi? Are you serious?
He won a Coppa Italia.
Are
Won
you
2 Coppa Italia,
serious?
by the way.
We were just talking about that.
The
Simone Inzaghi,
journalists
no.
in Italy are talking about Simone Inzaghi.
Well, Monblano's not.
70% that he has a chance to
You
go
make
to
it seem
Juventus.
like he's a bad coach.
Monblano says he's not going. But
not for Juventus.
Wait. There's one
He's
guy.
a good coach, but not for Juventus.
There's a one-
I don't want Allegri. I don't want Allegri.
I like your
I think
argument.
they're pretty good.
Whoever's made that up is a smart guy. There's one world class guy that you didn't say, Mourinho.
No.
No, he's not
Mourinho
gonna
is
go.
too much Inter for
Did you think?
No,
Did
we
you think
go
about
back.
it?
No,
All
we
right,
go
Pete,
back to
go
you.
ahead, go ahead.
No, I
You know,
mean,
if you wanna-
going back to me, I think, Gaetano put a good list of coaches. The only thing is, these coaches, a lot of them are not available. The only one is Conte. So, I mean, Conte, if he's able to clear the air with whatever problem he had, I think we know this already. His first spot is his love is Juventus. So he would go back with no problem.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of Juventus making decision.
If you want them, Mona.
Conte going to Juventus, he's gonna work them into shape. He's gonna make the team work, and I think he's one of the better coaches available. And he can definitely he knows Juventus' identity. He knows what he has to do.
He's got the
And
100 euros
If
now.
if you give him some money to spend, he's gonna be able to get
What
some
happened with
players.
all
Who's
of those-
yours? Wait, who's yours? Who's
There's
yours?
so
Answer the
many-
question because we got to go around.
There are so many young coaches in Italy that are doing so well. I mean, a couple old coaches that you know who
Just
are
give me
like-
one name. Give me one name.
Okay,
Who do
one
you
name
think?
only.
Who do you think would win the
Gasperini,
Champions
yes.
League? Who do you think would win the Champions League with Juve?
I will take Gasperini.
Okay, Mike.
Guardiola.
Okay, not Guardiola.
Something that is available. Not Manolas. Manolas is not a coach.
I want Conte to go to Inter, so I'd see anyone else at Juve.
Who? Who's the guy? Okay, I'll say think about it. But get a name. Get a
Okay,
solid name.
go.
For me, your list is perfect.
But
Zidane.
I left one guy out.
Who?
I
Pochettino?
would like to have the guy from Ajax if he's available.
De Boer.
No,
No,
De Boer.
Ten
Hag.
Hag. Ten Hag.
Borhag.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
Ten something.
They're
I would
both-
like to get this guy. I would like to get somebody because if those are not available, get this guy from Ajax.
You're saying not to get an Italian guy?
Yeah, well, the Italian guys,
Gianpaolo
the
is an
only one
excellent
that I
coach,
said
too.
2 Italian guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so then if they're not available,
But
get
you're
the guy
saying
from
the-
Ajax.
But you're saying these guys that all
Who's
have
your second
jobs,
Italian
though.
guy? Conte and
Ancelotti, yes.
Oh,
But
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti's not gonna leave
Okay.
Napoli.
So
Okay,
listen,
but I said those are those are the coaches that will make the difference. If you cannot get those,
You
I
have
will
your
get
name?
the guy.
You have
I
your
will
name?
get the guy from
There's
Ajax.
not many options. That's
I
like
don't,
saying
but it doesn't
Zidane.
matter
Zidane's
the
not gonna
options.
go.
It doesn't matter. You got to say the one that is an
I want
option.
to see Simone. Let's get Simone. I want to
Inzaghi.
start this whole pot.
Simone Inzaghi.
Yeah.
For me,
To get Gaetano a little bit.
simple. I agree with what Monblano said. You wait for Guardiola. If Guardiola doesn't give you a yes by this week, to me, you sign Antonio Conte tomorrow. The second that Guardiola says no, and you can't wait that long, you sign Conte.
What happens if Conte signs already?
Unless you could get the only contingencies, like you have a contingency, Zidane, Klopp, Pochettino, I don't know. After that, I don't know who else. I don't think there's anybody else.
You
It's
know,
Conte.
you know
It's
what
Conte.
I'm
Conte
really
signs.
surprised.
On what?
I mean, I think how
And
can
no
you
Deschamps.
how can you fire Allegri and you must have a coach.
Yeah, I think so.
You must have a coach. I
Yeah.
mean, this is Juventus.
Yeah, they have.
You don't stay now. You don't know. They have somebody.
That's what you think. Agnelli's
No.
looking through his contacts like,
Nah,
oh my God, what did I do?
Nah, I agree with
He's
you.
looking
Yeah,
for
they
next
they
thing.
have somebody
Wait,
and
They have a
solid.
coach.
You know what's really
Otherwise,
signed already. Signed.
Otherwise, Allegri.
Rino
you know
Gattuso.
what? It's not gonna go.
You know what's really funny about that? In
Stop
the
that.
press conference, Agnelli said that 14 months before Conte left, he identified Allegri as the next coach of Juventus.
of course.
He said, we saw each other at the final in the Champions League, and I hit Nedved, and I said, this guy's going to be the next coach of Juventus. And then he said, we work towards having the option in case.
To be
in
honest
case it
with
works
you,
out.
to
Well,
be
let's move
honest,
on,
no,
let's move on.
I'll tell you
Okay,
the reasons
finish it
why.
off,
If I was Conte, I would say no to Juventus. I'll tell you the reasons why. So, first of all, the guy was shown the door for. He said, hey, he demanded a couple players. They didn't give it to him. Now, all of a sudden, because of this guy here failure, of Allegri failure, he said, oh, let's bring Conte because Conte has been shown even away from Torino that he's a winner. Okay,
Those guys they don't think like that, Anton.
they don't think like that.
He's got unfinished business.
Because
and the unfinished business is,
when Allegri went to Juventus, Conte won 3 championships in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when Allegri went there? They were whistling at him. They were booing him. They
Went
didn't
in middle
want
of
him.
July.
They did not want Allegri. They went into the piazza, the square, and they say Conte, we want Conte, we want Conte. They went over there.
They
said,
stopped Juventus's bus
Yeah.
and didn't let them move.
Yeah,
and they said,
they didn't want
"Noi non
Allegri."
vogliamo Allegri."
So if you're Allegri and you go there, and this is the welcome that you get, but they don't think like that. These are people. They are people with a different breed.
mentality,
They are
not
different
soccer
breed.
mentality.
They are different breed. Their mind is, I'm a winner. I'm going to go there to win. I'm going to go there to win every game, and that's it.
Like a
And
Ronaldo
they don't
mentality.
listen to, to anyone.
Let's talk about the relegation battle, because the relegation battle in Italy, we talked about Champions League, who we think is going to go there, but Udinese, Empoli, Genoa, that's 16, 17, and 18. And I should add that Fiorentina are on 40 points, and that's only 3 points away from 18th place Genoa. What happened to Fiorentina? Where did they get this low that we said we thought Fiorentina was going to be one of the absolutely top half? Maybe where Torino is
fighting for
trying to get Europa
Europa
League.
You said that.
No.
You said because of Chiesa and what's his name?
That's not true.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Simeone and company.
So you predicted them 3 points above relegation?
No, but I didn't predict
Okay.
them to be up there either.
Where did you predict them to be?
I'm just below middle of the range.
So
now
where they
that
are now.
below middle of the middle is just they're just too far down.
Fiorentina lost to Parma this weekend, which was the blow. They were 5 points. Now they go down to 3 points. In the last match day, where both Empoli and Genoa all risk losing and going down. Empoli beat Torino 4-1, which was a huge victory for them. And the final match day, this is where it gets exciting, Fiorentina versus Genoa and Inter versus Empoli, which means that those two games will determine Champions League and relegation. Empoli have to play their lives out against your Inter, and Inter need to win at home to get into Champions League. It is literally the
What
worst.
if they tie?
If they tie, Inter
Depends
still
on the-
staying.
No, depends on
It
the
will
other
depend.
teams.
If
Sure.
the Inter ties, they go to 67. And if Milan wins, they go to 68.
And then if Atalanta wins.
And if Atalanta, depending then, because Atalanta has got 66 points. So if Atalanta ties, they go to 67. Then Inter and Atalanta will have 67.
I think Atalanta has the better.
And Milan will
Head to
go
head.
in. If Atalanta wins and Inter wins, they both in.
Atalanta, if they get a win and they're playing against Sassuolo, and they're actually playing in Sassuolo's home stadium because they're renovating their stadium, so that's a final match day. If they would have beaten Juventus, all they needed was
A
a
draw.
tie.
Yeah.
They weren't able to, so they need to win, or they need the results to go their way. Milan plays Spal on the last match day. Spal already saved. Not that much drama in that one. Think we expect Milan. They should be able to win. Roma Parma, again, Roma. I can't see any way that Roma will be able to get into Champions League, and I think their hope is to get into the Europa League spot, which would be best. Inter Empoli, like we said, this one is the one that you got to keep your eye on. I don't know.
So Marco, Inter and Empoli, they have the same points right now?
Inter?
Inter and Empoli, how many points they have? Same points?
What are you talking
He's like,
about?
what are you talking about?
I don't know.
Empoli.
Empoli is fighting for relegation.
Atalanta.
Atalanta, I'm sorry. Atalanta and Inter, they have the same
Atalanta's
Same
got
amount of
66 points. Inter's got 66 points.
Okay, so they have
And
the same
Milan
amount.
has got
Inter have the
65
head,
points.
Milan, Atalanta have the head.
If
Yeah.
everybody wins, then
Atalanta,
Atalanta,
Inter.
is 69, Inter 69, Milan 68.
Guys, let me just
Those are
throw
the ones to
Let me
watch.
just throw something. Remember Antonio was saying like 6 months ago, watch Milan make Champions League and Inter fall to Europa League. This could very well happen if the scenario if
What are
the
you doing
scenario
over there?
plays. Antonio, you remember saying that? It was like, Peter, you're not only not going to make Champions League, but you're going to fall to Europa League and Milan's going to take your spot.
I never said
Oh,
that.
you said that. We got it on video.
All right, so just for the record, Fiorentina, Genoa,
Yeah.
they played, I don't remember what year, about 40 years ago.
Okay. Whoa.
And that game, Fiorentina won and Genoa won in Serie B. So I am predicting that history will repeat.
Oh, man. Oh, boy.
Fiorentina will beat Genoa and Genoa Serie B.
I think that both of those guys, Fiorentina and Genoa, they're listening to the sideline and they're hearing Is Inter 4 goals up against Empoli? What's
I
the
think
score
they're
over
going to
there?
settle for a tie.
And they could get a tie. If you tell me the truth, that's what I think.
So with the tie, but does Empoli go down?
No.
With a tie,
And
Empoli, no?
Empoli's got 38 points and Genoa's got 37
Yeah, so
points.
Genoa ties.
So if
Who
Genoa
has the head-to-head?
loses,
If Genoa loses, they're out.
they stay at 37 and they relegate.
Yeah, but let's say Genoa ties.
If Genoa ties, they go to
Empoli
38.
loses.
Empoli loses.
They stay at 38.
They stay 38. Then you got to
Who
see.
has the head-to-head?
Yeah, head-to-head.
I'm checking the head.
Check it out right now.
Oh, that's interesting stuff, boys.
So, this is
And
my,
also Fiorentina and Empoli, they're the rival clubs in
Yeah.
the same area. It's like
So 3-1, Empoli
half hour
has
away.
it on 1. And the second game.
so they could even.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry. Don't
You're
worry.
gonna
What's
go
his
So
name?
I got
Man.
Genoa going to Serie B.
What is it?
Oh, boy.
So Empoli would have the head-to-head.
Oh
so
my
Genoa really needs to
God.
win.
Genoa got a.
I thought it was the opposite.
Genoa got a. Whew.
I thought it was the opposite. It's
Then
very,
you said
it's very
Atalanta.
tight.
Atalanta plays Sassuolo.
Everybody bring your calculators because
Atalanta
this is-
plays Sassuolo. They play in the Mapei Stadium, which is supposed to be their home, but in reality, it's Sassuolo's home. So it's like an away game if you think about it. And then they need.
They played
to
a few
kinda
games
win.
over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
but-
But this Sassuolo
but the
Stadium
fan-
playing against
But it's a
Sassuolo.
home game
Home game, so the
for
tickets are sold
Atalanta.
to
So the
Atalanta.
tickets will go
Yeah,
to
that's
Atalanta,
true. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
So Atalanta will win that game.
I don't think so.
You think so too, right?
Yeah, Atalanta will
Because
win
I
that
said
game.
that.
This
you
is
guys
the problem,
didn't think
guys.
so.
I have to say anytime Michael says something's
What?
going to happen, the opposite happens.
But
I was
Marco-
praying that he was not going to say that Atalanta were going to
But,
win. Please
yo,
say that Milan's going to
listen.
win and Atalanta's not.
But you didn't think they're gonna pick up against Juventus at all.
Who?
You thought they're gonna crumble.
No, I said
No,
I said they
no.
were not going to
No,
win.
no.
I said they're not going to
When-
win. And I said that at the end of the season,
When
they're
they lost
not gonna
against
get fourth
Lazio,
seed.
they said they're gonna crumble against Juve too.
No, I said that they're going to crumble either against Juve or against Sassuolo.
I guess we'll see.
Last
Final
Guys,
match
why
day.
we are here fighting about
Yeah, I know.
it? You Inter and Atalanta, they in.
Inter Empoli is not an easy game, huh?
Yeah, you
That's
got
a
the
tough-
hardest.
That's a very tough game. Inter's got the toughest game. There.
For sure.
And
How do you feel?
No, it's a Empoli the whole season. Even though they lost a lot of games, they play a good football. You can tell
Yeah, they
the style
do.
of play, and then also coming off of this win versus Torino, 4-1, they're feeling good, right? Inter, it's a question mark. You don't know what Inter is gonna show up, but the fact is that Inter have better players. Okay, you're at home. You want to win Champions League. You have to get into Champions League. You have to win this game.
Just like
So there's
last
no
year.
calculations. You have to be the better team, and you have to win.
but so against Napoli, you had to win the game, or at least.
But I would say Napoli's better team than Inter.
But Napoli was playing. Napoli was playing for nothing.
No, true. But based on players,
You should have played. You
I
should
know.
have, with your teeth out. You should have. You should have.
Too late
you
now,
should have
right?
Played.
Now it's last match day.
Again, 1 year later, Inter going to the final game without Champions League already confirmed.
Remember Lazio?
I
last
remember.
year?
I remember that. I don't know if it was said or if it was just a rumor that one of the things that they wanted from Spalletti this year was not get it to the last day.
Yeah.
Have this saved, show a little bit, and then you could have an argument to keep Spalletti.
But now there's no argument.
But now there's no argument. And now he's either going to be with his fingers crossed that he does this. and
No, it's
somehow
going to
goes.
do this. It's going to do the sign of the cross while it's working.
You still have a chance.
No, they have a big chance.
You still have a chance.
He's
to-
playing
to
it down,
go
this guy.
Yeah.
Pretend like
We
it's
out,
over.
guys. We out. We out. It's okay.
What is the
Next
prediction?
year, okay.
Champions League, relegation.
no, Champions League. Inter have to win this game. It's
Inter
not gonna be.
and-
It's not gonna be pretty.
Inter and
I think Empoli goes down. I think Genoa sneaks in. Fiorentina's been playing terribly.
but
Genoa-
who's the other Champions League team?
Oh, the other Champions League team? I told you, Milan.
Milan.
You stick with them?
What do you say?
Look at this.
What do you say?
How the hell is it going to go in? Atalanta's
Atalanta's
a
gonna
winner.
tie.
They're going to win.
What do you
They're
say?
going to win.
gonna tie.
Atalanta. Wow.
Come on, go for your easy. It's all done already.
It's very, very tough game. I mean, Inter Empoli is a very, very tough game because Inter is, it didn't show, to me, it didn't show that they wanted the Champions League. Otherwise, they should have played much better against Napoli. So I go with Atalanta and Inter.
And the relegation?
I said it already.
Who's going down?
I said
Genoa.
it.
Genoa.
I said
Yeah.
Fiorentina, Genoa. Fiorentina is going to win and Genoa is going to go in Serie B.
Okay. I say Inter Milan. Inter Milan are going in for the Champions League. I think that Sassuolo is going to... I think Atalanta is going to trip themselves up and they're not going to make the fairy tale a reality. And I think for relegation, I think Empoli goes down. And I would... Not to be disrespectful, but I would kind of rather Genoa and Fiorentina. Obviously, I would rather
let's write
Fiorentina
this
stay,
down.
but Genoa.
Gardano's like, I don't want anyone twisting my
Mike,
word.
wait, Mike.
Let's write
Mike
this
first.
down. I'm going to write this down. Hold on. Okay,
he's gonna
so
write it?
Marco.
Inter
Milan.
Milan and Empoli.
Inter, Milan,
And Empoli.
Empoli.
You better make sure that paper
Empoli
doesn't
going
disappear.
down.
Yeah,
Okay.
Empoli. Okay, they're not going up.
For me.
Same thing for you? Okay.
What did you... you said
Me?
Genoa.
I got Atalanta,
Guys are gonna change it tomorrow.
Atalanta, Inter, and Genoa.
Make sure
Okay.
you guys both know.
Mike,
I'm going with Inter's going and Atalanta is making it.
Inter.
Relegation.
Roma and Milan are both going to end up qualifying.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I
This
think
guy's bad luck over here.
I think Genoa's going down.
Could be.
I think Genoa. Unfortunately, they've been such a Serie A
So
team.
we-
We're gonna miss
we
the
got the
derby.
same.
The
They got the same. We got the same. Antonio.
Oh, we got
Here's
the
the
same?
tiebreaker.
I'm gonna go with unfortunately with your father.
What is it?
Inter Atalanta and
Genoa?
Genoa went out.
Okay, so the three of us. got the same.
Triplete.
Yo, all I'm saying, you got the two worst guys on your team. The one who's always gets the opposite, and Antonio, who's just doing
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
We wrote it down.
Peter.
Let's change it.
Hey, Inter's in Champions League, so that's all that counts. Either way.
Mike, any questions?
Yeah,
Any
we
few
got a few
real
questions
quick?
we can ask. Let's do them quick because we've been on for a while. Quick answers. If Napoli sell Koulibaly for 150 million, is it worth it for his
No
price now?
way.
150 million. He's aging right now. He's not a young
No.
guy anymore.
I'll sell him.
Yes or no?
I'll sell
You
him.
can build a huge squad
Sell.
around him.
Sell him.
I say sell too. Even though Koulibaly's the man, 150
Sell him.
million, you can jumpstart the whole team. Gaetano.
Sell
Make a
him.
statement,
But
though.
not to Juventus. Not to
100
Juventus.
150 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
150 million. You sell. Of course you sell
Yes,
him.
you have.
Tell your
you-
son
you-
something.
yeah, you sell it.
Tell your son.
you
Not to Juventus.
Tell your son.
You get
Manchester United
Neymar for
supposedly-
150.
Well, you don't
supposedly
know-
sold
well, you
Gaetano,
or for
tell
110.
What you don't understand is they said the same thing with freaking Higuain.
he's not young,
De
though, my
Laurentiis
dude.
gonna put it right behind his back, and that's it. You're never gonna see the 115 million again. He's gonna buy 4 or 5 guys from Portugal, and that's it.
Gaetano, what do you have to
Spend
say about
30
that?
million, and that's it. Do not sell Koulibaly. Mike,
No,
next question.
nothing? Okay.
Hey, wait, before we go to the next question,
Okay.
Mike, I was so
Yeah.
funny. We were having coffee, me, myself, your father, Joe Gulino.
You guys never
myself
invited
and
us.
I.
Wait a moment. We were having coffee. Gaetano, your father, me, Joe Gulino, and who was with us? Gaetano. And your uncle, Franco.
Okay.
So
Milan.
a topic came up. It was Vandanara and Icardi. So he was
Again.
he gave the most
scared where this
incredible.
went.
He gave it to me a scenario that to me is like 99% what I think is happening. According to him, okay, Icardi hasn't been saying anything and he's letting Vandanara trashing everybody at Inter because they won. Listen to this. You're laughing. This is
I'm
they
laughing.
wanted the price of Icardi to go down. So Icardi gets snatched from by Juventus. Okay, Icardi goes over there. And then since they know that Icardi might be taken from Juventus, they know that by Conte going into Inter to become a coach, immediately Dybala goes into Inter. But Juventus will not pay Icardi the $100 million with the price tag that they had already. I think that was a great scenario. That he
Peter,
put on
one
the table.
word to respond.
Icardi, I can't say one word, but Icardi did write a response, and he said the complete opposite. So you're wrong on that.
What
Okay,
they
oh,
say
shit.
is not up to
Okay,
him.
Mike, you got the next question.
Yeah, I got the next question.
Okay,
Okay,
next question.
which Serie A team do you guys think needs the most work in the summer, including transfers and coaching replacements? Let's be quick. I think
Roma.
Milan.
Roma.
Oh, Roma, actually. Yeah, I agree with Marco. Yeah, Roma are a mess right now.
Fiorentina needs a lot of stuff.
That's true. That's
Fair
true,
enough.
too. Yeah, that's
If they
true.
go to Serie B, they might not have that much
Fiorentina too.
stuff to do.
Fiorentina, definitely.
Guys?
It's a big
Depends.
If we wanna say that,
are
then
we
we can say
talking
Kiev, I
about
don't know.
a team that's
Players and
winning,
management
trying to win
too.
Serie A, or is that
Anything.
players trying to?
Well, anything. Well, Fiorentina's not that high.
I know that. Yeah, I didn't say Fiorentina. He did.
Oh, but Fiorentina's a good
Yeah.
one, though.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Not
In
really.
general. In general.
Based on what Roma has been trying to do, I would say Roma. But I'm not sure if they're still trying to win the Scudetto.
Yeah, Roma.
Win the Scudetto.
I'm saying compete for the top
Hey,
spot.
Fiorentina got Chiesa to
Next.
sell. He's got all of those players to
Next.
the
Next
managers.
Next question.
He's gonna be like a foreclosure over there, kids.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of rumors for Ilicic, very close to signing from Napoli, which was a big
stupid.
news. Do you think he will be an impact for Napoli if they end up signing him? I feel like he was not. I don't know why. He
He's
fit
never
well with
consistent
Atalanta.
enough.
Gasperini was his motivator, and he was a team for that. So if he goes to a bigger team, I feel like he's going to disappoint.
Replacing who? Who's going to be replacing?
Well,
Your best friend.
he's like attacking midfielder. He can play like a second striker.
Yeah, who
Mertens
plays
or
attacking
Insigne.
midfielder, second
Maybe
striker.
Mertens or Insigne, you're saying, right?
If Atalanta do this better be in this scenario
be
that
a
they don't
joke.
get Champions League. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Gasperini.
Ilicic is a great player, so I mean, maybe not going to be your starter, but coming off the bench, he's somebody
Should
that
be
can
top.
that can play, that can control a game.
Gaetano, same thing.
Yep.
Okay. Next question. Do you believe Milan is set to win their next Scudetto within the next 5 years?
Yeah.
Who's this
5
asking
years.
The question? By the way, who's this guy asking the
Jeez.
question?
His name
Oh, we gotta
is-
say the
he's
debate.
a Milan fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. His
Oh, we're
name is-
definitely gonna win 2 Scudetto in the next 5
I
years.
don't know.
Don't worry.
I don't know
Two?
about two.
What about three?
I think maybe on the
If you
fifth
keep
year,
Gattuso?
maybe even be like extremely
No,
close.
I think
but it's tough.
definitely. You
5
know,
years is not
you
that
know
much.
what we argued. Me and Peter, we did in the debate. We said who's got a brighter future. Who do you think I said?
Spalletti.
No, Milan or Inter.
Inter.
Who do you think I said?
Inter.
No, I chose first.
Juventus. Milan. You said Milan. I don't know about that.
Who's
I don't do that with Juventus players. With the
Who-
Juventus.
who's-
I wish I was Juventus.
who's going to be?
I wouldn't be here with you guys.
I want to know who's going to be the Milan coach.
I think they might keep. They might keep.
It depends if they
Gattuso.
say in Europa League. They're keeping
They might keep
Gattuso.
Gattuso. To me, I would keep him.
No, Gattuso is out.
How do you know that?
Gattuso is out. Who's going to be the?
If Gattuso is out.
Okay, if Gattuso
Okay.
is out. Okay, who's going to be the
I
coach?
would go.
Sarri?
No,
Mourinho?
please.
Sarri's a great
Mourinho?
coach.
No.
No.
Another great coach.
I will go either with Gianpaolo
Okay.
or
Gas.
Gasperini.
Okay,
go there
so
with a Champions League
Milan
team.
is not going to win in the next 5 years.
Okay,
Let's see that.
That's my answer.
last question. This is solely to Antonio.
Oh, go ahead.
Antonio, if you had the opportunity to transfer 2 players from the current Juventus team to Milan for free, who would you pick?
I pick up Dybala
Wow, that was a quick one. Let's see this second one.
and what I like about Juventus?
Ronaldo?
Nah.
Nah, take it to Chilio back.
No, you can keep that.
You want Pinzolio? Pinzolio. He's good young talent.
Rugani's
no.
great
Phenomenal
talent.
young talent.
I'll take Pjanic.
That's actually a smart answer.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it's right that.
not bad.
Wait, there was a quote from Gattuso who said, "Fifth place absolutely would not be a failure."
A disappointment.
What's our reaction to that?
Horrendous.
He's
What does
trying
that
to
say?
play. He's trying to play
Mind
safe
games.
because he knows that if he says that we have still a champion, he's already just putting all the players and the tifosi at ease already that it might not happen. that
Peter,
we're
what do you
going
think
into the
about it?
Champions League?
No, it's a failure. You have to be. Not saying you have to be third place, but fourth place you should have had.
Locked.
Yeah, it's a failure.
Same.
Wow, that's
Very
it?
obviously.
It's very obvious, of course.
Very obvious.
Yeah.
Wait, you agree with it?
I do.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I'm just telling you that he's preparing
Okay, yeah,
already
yeah,
the
yeah.
stage for
Another
what's gonna happen
thing.
Sunday.
Serie gave their awards for the best players. For best goalkeeper, they gave Handanovic.
Yeah, that's why he got 4 goals last week.
Did you
Wow.
tell me before or something?
That's unbelievable.
You thought about that
How the
real
hell
quick.
did they give this guy here a best goalkeeper? 4
thought
goals.
about that.
I am a better goalkeeper than Andano.
Peter's
was hilarious.
speechless. Peter
Donnarumma got 3 goals by Inter, so
Hilarious. Who would be your best goalkeeper?
Of course, Donnarumma.
Okay. Handanovic?
Handanovic.
Mike, best
Sirigu,
goalkeeper?
Sirigu.
Sirigu.
Not Donnarumma.
Who would it be? You don't know on the top of your head?
Meret.
Man,
Best midfielder. And then I'll tell you who it was, who they gave it to.
not
Who
Fabio.
did they give the best goalkeeper to?
Handanovic.
Handanovic.
Handanovic wasn't.
midfielder.
I like this guy Meret anyway. Yeah, I'm a little.
Best midfielder. Depend on which one. Left mid.
Center mid.
Center
midfielder.
mid, yeah.
Center midfield.
This is not a good question. Everybody's going to
Well,
take
There's
it.
a tough- there's a
I
tough
like
one.
Dybala. I like Dybala.
Well, he's
not
not a
a
center
center
mid.
What is that?
He's like
He's
attacking
a
mid,
midfielder.
winger.
To me, Dybala is a midfielder. It's not a forward. It's not an attacking midfielder. It's a midfielder. Spectacular midfielder.
Peter, you got yours or no?
It's a tough
I'm
question.
trying to
but-
think
Yeah,
right
it's a
now
very
from
tough
my
question.
Or Borca Valero.
I can't think right now.
Best. Okay, they
I
gave
say
it. To,
Pjanic just to say
They
Nah,
gave
I don't
it-
want to say just to say that.
move
Who
it.
did they
I don't
give?
know.
they gave it to Milinkovic Savic.
No, he
which
didn't have a
I
good
don't know
season.
where the hell they got
Really?
Milinkovic
Not this year.
Savic.
Last year.
Yeah,
This year.
last
They
year
give it to
should've
this
been.
year.
Last year it
He's
was,
been
it
hurt.
was the better. The
Best defender.
That's gotta be Koulibaly.
Koulibaly.
Koulibaly. He won it.
I thought you were gonna say Chiellini.
Best young player.
It's close.
Best young player.
Best young player.
Italian or non-Italian?
No, just
No,
best
I
young
don't know.
player.
Serie A.
Zaniolo.
Calabria.
Nah, Calabria.
Zaniolo.
What's
Yeah, Zaniolo is
what's the
Puglia.
requirement for a young player?
Zaniolo.
23 and under.
You have 2-3 names
Skriniar,
other than Zaniolo.
Keane, Moise,
Oh, Moise.
Cutrone,
Under, whatever.
Kluivert.
Under.
Clive.
Donnarumma
The
counts as a
season
young
that he's
player,
having,
though, right?
Zaniolo.
Zaniolo top.
Yeah,
Zaniolo had like 5
Zaniolo.
months.
Was
whatever.
Zaniolo?
Yeah, it's Zaniolo.
Yeah.
And I think he deserved it.
Okay.
Best attacker.
Best forward. Well, we got
Quagliarella.
Quagliarella. Come on, the
Quagliarella.
guy.
Him
the
or
guy's got-
Zapata would be acceptable.
No, quite
The guy's
I
got
said
one.
both.
Number one, but you have to give one. Who is it?
Joint.
Who is
Both.
it?
Both
There's
of them
no
are
point.
fine.
It-
Both
yo,
of them
it's-
are good. I wouldn't be mad with that.
But you have to choose one.
I'm putting Zapata.
Zapata. Very good. MVP. Most valuable player.
That's not. That's you don't even have to think about it. It's Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
Obviously.
Who do you put, Calabria?
Ronaldo, obviously.
Get outta here. You put
Mike, who's your
Ronaldo?
last
No
one?
way.
Ronaldo.
No
So
way.
all Ronaldo. Who's yours?
I would say Quagliarella still.
But you can't choose the same one.
Doesn't matter. It's hey, most valuable player. I'm not talking about attacker or a forward. To me, Quagliarella is the most valuable player.
Calabria, no?
No, Calabria. I put Quagliarella.
Cutrone.
No, I put Quagliarella. Not Ronaldo. By far. Ronaldo is not even on the bottom 20.
Not even on the
Bottom
bottom
20.
20. Very good. Guys, we did a debate video. Peter and I, we went off. A lot of the comments were pretty split. To be honest, I was looking at mine a little bit more, so I saw me, but we'll tally them up. We have to get the next one. Who's going to play who? I didn't have this prepared, but the only thing I could think of is if we either go like paper or rock. And the two people who do something different, they gotta debate each other.
Or we get in a fist
So
fight
we
or
always do
something.
paper or rock.
Yeah.
No
And then
scissors.
the whoever gets a 2,
What happened to those 5 players that we were supposed to choose who's out?
What?
The Italian players.
oh yeah.
You were
We,
supposed
oh,
to
we
choose.
did. We
Well,
voted.
Gaetano had those sleepless nights
Oh.
thinking about it, right?
They
What are you
voted.
talking about?
Oh, they voted?
Yeah, they
It
voted.
was Maldini, all the legends. You gotta
Maldini,
pick one to
Cannavaro, Del
leave.
Piero,
Uh-uh.
Buffon.
That's a tough one.
Where do we leave off with you guys?
Cannavaro out.
We took Cannavaro.
okay.
So
Next one.
who's in? Del Piero?
Next one. Baggio,
Maldini.
Totti, Del Piero, Buffon, Maldini.
Baggio,
Buffon.
Who do you kick out?
Buffon, Baggio, Del Piero, Maldini, Buffon,
Totti.
and Totti.
I take Buffon out.
Okay.
Buffon.
Maldini.
Whoa.
Buffon.
Totti.
You better watch out when you leave the studio, Pete.
They voted Totti
no,
out?
no. I said Totti.
Oh, you
they
said
voted
Totti.
Del Piero out.
Wow.
We already,
Your dad did not expect that.
we already basically have the next one though,
All right.
because we
Okay,
did
let's
skip a
save
week.
the
So Buffon.
No, we'll do the next one. Who do you think the next one was?
Buffon.
Okay. Buffon, of course.
Maldini.
Oh, the next one you said.
It was Del Piero got voted out. The next one that they voted for to be out was Totti.
Wow.
So the only 3 left for next week are Baggio, Maldini, and Buffon. Those are the only 3 left.
Jesus.
Those are
Jesus.
3 tough ones.
Okay, let's do it. So I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3. You either put a rock or you put a paper.
What does that mean?
Okay. so if
can
I
make
put a
fire.
rock and you put a rock, then we have to do the debate against each other, and they all put paper. You know, just a way. I don't know how else we could do it.
Okay.
You guys do it, all 4 of us.
Why don't
All
you do
4
this
of you.
No, you
Why
got
don't you do like
We'll play Scopa real quick.
odds and evens?
Yeah.
What's not the name?
Last 2 remaining. So everybody puts out of 5. Everyone puts a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So let's say for example I put 1. Gaetano puts 2. You put 3, 4. You count them all
I'm
up.
already confused.
Watch. Everybody put a number.
This
Watch.
is interphilosophy.
Watch.
Damn, we got you on the low.
All right, what do we do?
So what do we do?
So let's say for example we all put 1. Right. That's
Yeah.
5. So you would count from Marco. We'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll be the one. That's the first one to go. Then the next 4 go
Me,
again.
yo, rock or
that's
paper.
not
Come on.
You guys do the four of you.
No, you gotta do it. No, you have to do it. Everybody
you have to
asks
do
for
it.
it. No,
Okay,
you
you gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
Okay.
You gotta do it. Wait, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wait,
what are you doing? Okay. We gotta do it. Did you see it?
wait, and I did the last second.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Go.
What are you doing?
That's it. No. You got paper,
Antonio
right?
Gaetano.
Antonio Gaetano. It's the next one.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'll take it.
So
You guys have to go in a wrestling match.
They're gonna send in 5 questions. They send in 5 questions.
Yeah.
We ask you the 5 questions while you're here, and it's a debate. So
You argue
30
your point.
seconds.
you each argue a point. So let's say we say who's better, Totti or Del Piero, and you start off and you say Del Piero is better. He has to argue that Totti is better.
The opposite
in
of
30
what you
seconds.
do. It's fun. It's a fun
Whether
quick
you
game.
agree-
What?
If you tell me Baggio and Cannavaro, and then I have to argue that Cannavaro
But
is
it
better
shows
than
But
how
that's not
Baggio.
good
gonna be
your
the top.
reasoning is.
That's
It
not-
shows how good your reasoning is, though.
It's not gonna be. We've never
Yeah,
had
it's
it like
not gonna
that.
be- it's not
They're
gonna be
usually
like that.
they're usually questions that are tailored towards both of you.
dad's already rolling
For
his
example,
eyes.
By the way, do we have any sales still?
no,
Yes
no
or
sales.
No sales.
Say the 5 stars, okay? 5 stars.
Oh, by the way.
Oh no.
By the way.
What's by the way?
Somebody asked me whether we have the new hats already for with the culture stuff.
Did anybody or was it you that asked
Yeah,
yourself?
I think it was you that asked
Look
yourself.
at me.
Okay, guys.
Okay, say the 5 stars.
Guys, don't forget, if you're depressed and if you think that AC Milan is out already, we're not out, okay? Even
said-
though
you said you were out.
You
doesn't
said that you
matter.
were out.
We're still not out. We're still not out. Keep your faith up.
Am I the one missing it?
I'm telling you, if Inter goes down, I'm buying the beer for 300 people.
300.
300 beers on me,
That's
okay?
a lot of money.
All right.
Where are we meeting?
You're gonna be living in the studio after that.
Don't worry, the bill is gonna be chilled. You
gonna-
can pick up your brand.
You're gonna be
It's
pressing
all on
shirts
me.
with us.
Peroni, okay?
Peroni's okay. Peroni, I'll take Peroni, okay? So,
Will Peter be invited into that?
of course, Peter is gonna get 10 beers.
Over his head, right?
Very
Don't
good.
get depressed. It's not over yet. Keep watching the podcast.
Very
5
good.
stars.
Big week ahead. Last day
Study
of the
hard
Serie
because
A.
it's finals week, right? This is the week for the final.
They
And,
passed already.
They passed already the final. Okay, happy graduation and keep watching the podcast. Keep watching the podcast.
And happy Thanksgiving.
And keep spreading the news, okay? Have a nice one.
Ciao.
Ciao.